So we'll begin with marking the end of the box first. All these bars are in a little tiny bit different space, so unfortunately you have to drill that end hole. So what you want to do is line it up on the back plate with your holes parallel, and then with a pen mark where you're going to want to drill your hole. So put it on there, see that? And make your mark and then find your center point. And come down here. I'm putting a piece of wood on the inside and holding that there, so when the drill goes all the way through, it doesn't rough up the inside. It's a 22 millimeter hole saw. You can get at any hardware store or maintenance department to have one. And then put in this connector with the grommet in that will fit over the threaded rod and seal the box. Leave the washer on the outside. Slip that in place. Put the nut on the interior. Come over this way a little bit. To tighten that nut up, put a screwdriver against one of those little notches. Tap it, and that tightens it up. And we'll slip it in place. Threaded rod through the grommet. And then with the 1-inch carriage bolts that are included, slip those into place. Lock washer and a 1/4-inch nut on the back of each one. And before you tighten those up completely, you want to line the box up with the backer plate. As you tighten those up with a nut driver or a ratchet, they'll pull down into the fiberglass. Right in there. So don't over tighten them. Just get them good and snug, so your box is going to stay in place. Then you want to reconnect your motor leads in the conduit. the interior part threads into, let's see, threads into that watertight conduit. Thread that in until it's tight. And feed your wires up into your box. Okay. And then you want to reconnect your motor leads. The ground wire is going to go to the backer panel, as is the white wire. Right to that nut that holds the backer panel in place. The ground wire and white wire get connected there. Then with a fairly small screwdriver, we're going to loosen T2 and T3. This is for a single phase. Give your wires a little bit of a twist together. Loosen that a little bit more. Slip them up in there and tighten the screw down. You want them snug so they don't come out, but you want to be careful not to over tighten them and strip the screws out that are holding them in place. Nice and snug. So that's for a single phase. The motor leads get connected to T2 and T3. For a three-phase, there are 3 lead wires that go to the motor, and they get connected to T1, T2, and T3. The power wires coming in from the wall get connected to L1 and L3 on the top up here. I've got these short leads in here, so you need to just disconnect each of those, take them out, and hook your wires up where they were hooked up. Be careful, there are several other wires that get hooked in with these in L1 and L3, make sure they get put back in there when you're putting your other wire in. Next thing you need to do is the lid switch. And to do that, use the fine thread nut, 3/8 inch nut that's included in your kit. Thread that on so there's about 1/4 inch of threads showing. And then your little arm that's going to push on the lid switch needs to go on next. Just get that thread started on there. Careful not to cross thread it. Thread that on, not quite until it's tight. And with the lid closed, you want it perpendicular or parallel with the back panel. So it's going to be perpendicular with the switch. And once that's in place, back the first nut up to it until that's snug. Hold that arm in place with a vice grip, and then tighten that second bolt back against it. And then that arm is going to move up and down, and that's what's going to contact the lid switch, which we'll install next. The arm is adjustable up and down. If you loosen this nut, the carriage bolt will move up and down, and that can adjust somewhat. But pretty much, if you get this switch in the right place, you shouldn't have to adjust that. There are a couple of sheet metal screws included in. That backer is aluminum, so these screws will go right into that aluminum. A little bit of pressure. So with the lid closed, you want to put that switch in place, push it up, not until there's a lot of pressure, but push it up until it's completely, the plunger is completely down. And then go ahead. And there are 2 holes in that aluminum angle. Just want to put a screw in each of those. And then when your lid comes down, it contacts that switch. When it comes up, it breaks the circuit. And then you should be ready to go. So turn it on, test it out. Single phase will only turn one direction. When you're looking directly down at it, it should be going clockwise. We've got an arrow painted on the newer ones to show which direction they go. If it's going the wrong direction, these leads can be hooked up to either side. If it's going the wrong direction, some things need to be changed down where the leads connect to the motor. But there's a wiring diagram on there. That can be done, but that shouldn't be a problem if this is a replacement box. If it's a 3-phase motor, you've got 3 wires coming in to L1, L2, and L3. If the tub does turn in the wrong direction, you can switch any two of those 3 leads on 3-phase, and the tub will go the other direction. The 3-phase motor will turn either way. And then the overload switch has an adjustable range on here, so make sure the amperage that's listed on the motor should be listed on this tag. This one is amps. This is a 240 volt is what you're getting here, and it is 8 amps. So 240 single phase, and you need to make sure that this adjustable range is on 8, which it will be, should be set correctly if the right one was ordered. And that's about it. It should work at that point, and that's it.